All right, everybody, 10 Tampa Bay Chief Meteorologist Bobby Deskins here Saturday afternoon, and we have some development happening here in the tropics. So sitting on the lanai, I figured I would jump in here and touch base with everybody, let you know. Look, so we're talking the Gulf of Mexico. You can see that here. It's actually the Bay of Campeche, right? The southwest Gulf of Mexico. Let me zoom it out. You can see Tampa up here in the right-hand corner. Down here is where we're looking. See where that D is right here? That is where we're thinking the center is right about there. The center moved across the Yucatan Peninsula. It's now out over the warm waters, and there's convection near the center. And the hurricane center is pretty bullish on this thing, at least trying to be at least a depression. That's what these Ds mean. Some of the models, this is the H-Warp, one of them trying to see if it's a potentially a tropical storm before it moves into Mexico. But this is mainland Mexico over here. This is Brownsville, Texas, up at the top of the screen. So you can see it would be coming in to the left, or to the south, I should say, of Brownsville, moving off towards the west-northwest. Now, let's talk satellite and radar. So you saw that one. This is the view from the infrared satellite, tropical tidbits here. And you can see that it's basically starting to get a pretty good amount of convection around the center, and that's what you're looking for. We're trying to figure out where the wind is and where the center is. And you have to see here, some low level looks to be somewhere down in here. You look at that low level circulation and see these thunderstorms here getting close to that. So that's something that we need to watch. The Hurricane Center is just put this out. They just bumped it up to 70% chance. Data from the well-defined surface circulation is developing with the area of low pressure located in the Bay of Campeche near the Mexican coastline. Shower and thunderstorm activity is also starting to show signs of organization. If these trends continue, we could get a depression as early as today. The system is forecast to continue moving west-northwest this weekend towards eastern Mexico, ultimately moving inland by Monday. Air Force Reserve hurricane hunters are actually in there right now. Let's just jump over to that. Where did I put my recon in here? There it is. So the recon is out there as we speak. You can see them in there. And one thing you want to notice here is look at the wind arrows. They're moving like this here. The wind is like this here, and it's like this here. So we've got a center sitting somewhere right in here, right where the plane was. Okay, that is the key. So what we're going to be watching is how much wind we see here, how much as far as strength, speed of wind, right? We know our center is probably sitting right in here, and this is the key to getting recon out there because you can find that center and you can see what it looks like. Now the key is, yes, looks like we've got a closed low, right? We've got winds kind of wrapping all the way around it here, okay? Now how much wind do we have? If that gets over 39 miles per hour, now you're talking about a tropical storm. If it's below 39 miles per hour in the highest area, then you're talking about tropical depression. Let's look at some of those winds. So you can see this is just model driven, but it's kind of based off of what's happening out there now. And so you can see we've got about 20, 21, 22 mile per hour winds out of the east-southeast. There's some higher winds over here, but that's kind of on the west side. That's not as much the deal to do with the low pressure center. But you see down here on the bottom, west-southwest winds, southwest winds. So we've got it looks like a closed low here. Now we just need to see how much wind we have. Looking at these numbers, we're looking at a tropical depression likely issued by 5 o'clock this afternoon if this were to hold. All right, where's it going? Well, here are the tropical forecast models right now. This is from Tomer Bergsight's amazing. But you can see everything takes it into the west, well to the south of Brownsville. As far as intensity goes, most of the modeling keeps it below tropical storm force. You see the dotted line right there, just below that. But the UK is kind of going up there. Actually, that's the H-Warp, and the H-Warp is known for doing that. But there's a possibility. I mean, look, it gets really close. Really pretty close right in this range to being a tropical storm. Barry is the next name on the list. As far as the consensus models, what you want to look at when you're looking at this dark line here, that's the very latest model run. It was thinking it was down here, then it went down here. Now it's going a little bit further to the north. Either way, it still looks like it wants to take it into central Mexico here by Sunday night into Monday. All right, so no threat right now at this point to the United States. Here's the European forecast model. Let's drop it up. Let me draw this for you so you can see what we're looking at. Brownsville, Texas right here. Miami over here. Cancun, Cozumel here. Here's the Yucatan and the Mexico coastline right here, right? This is where we're watching. and it should go off into this direction. So I'll go ahead and put this into motion now. And you don't see a bunch of closed lows here, but you see some pretty good moisture right in there. And that is, by the way, this is timing-wise, this is Sunday at noon, tomorrow at noon. And then by tomorrow night, 11 p.m., it's basically moved on shore. At least it's right near the shore. Now, this will throw some moisture up into Brownsville. South Texas will get something out of this, but that would be it. All right, that's the European model. This is the European AI model. Now, I moved the map on you a little bit. Brownsville, Mexican coast. Here's the Yucatan coast. Watching this area. See, it's got a little closed low here. This is by late tonight. It's probably going to do something like this. So let's watch that. There it goes. Kind of clears it up a little bit. That's 8 p.m. Sunday. Still trying to get there 8 a.m. Monday, and it's onshore during the day on Monday. All right, and then we'll watch that moisture into Mexico for the most part. GFS is very similar. Again, over in this area here, let me back it up a little bit. It does try and close off a low. This would be right here. We're looking at Monday morning, 8 a.m. So during the day on Monday, it moves onshore. Most of the models suggesting the same thing. Take a look at the European. The European's definitely seeing something. It's saying now that chance gets greater as it gets towards that coast of Mexico. This is interesting for next week. We'll talk about that. I don't think it's tropical, but I think we're going to get some rain out of it. The GFS version, yeah, look at that. They don't usually do a whole lot with it. And this time it's certainly saying some pretty good chances down in here. Okay. Now, other ensembles. This is the GFS. See the closed low here? We're looking at this area right here. Doesn't do a whole lot with it, but it does take it onshore. That's Monday morning early, and then moves it onshore. This is the European. Let's go a little bit slower. This is Sunday morning. There's a low. See the low right here? That's the European. Say it's got about, 1,002 millibar low, very weak, but that's tropical depression, maybe tropical storm. I'd say tropical depression. And the Canadian, for what it's worth, it does do something. See it right there on the left side of the screen. That's the Canadian, and yeah, it goes into Mexico. All right, now let's talk about rain, because this is the amount of rain. Look where Brownsville is, right up here at the top of your screen. All right, I'm going to back all the way up. Watch the rainfall just add up. This is, what are we looking at here time-wise? This is Sunday at 5 o'clock p.m. And then look at it getting into northern Mexico by Monday morning, 9 a.m., and then it starts to spread into Texas. Not as much, but that would be Monday night and into Tuesday. All right, closer to home, guys, just want to let you know we do have that rain coming in offshore. Ruined my boat plans today. It will pick up and move inland. This is about 5 o'clock this afternoon. I did want to point this out because we have a weather impact alert in effect, especially for these inland areas. We could get a couple good strong thunderstorms, central and eastern Polk County, down to Hardy and DeSoto counties as well. Later tonight, I know there's a lot going on in town. This is around 8:30 p.m. tonight. Most of the modeling says we're pretty dry all the way back up towards the coast, so St. Pete is looking pretty good for that. Okay, guys, that's it for now. I hope you have a great rest of the weekend. Be on the lookout. I do think we'll end up getting at least Tropical Depression number 1 today, or we could end up getting Tropical Storm Barry. Probably going to go straight to depression at this point.